I sold the C6 Z06. And for the first time in over a year, I have no Corvette in the garage. And no, it wasn't some kind of emotional or impulsive decision. It was the best financial move I could have made for myself. However, it wasn't easy. So here's what happened. If you've seen my other videos, you know that my car was hit in a parking lot and the fender was destroyed basically. You know, normally that's just a small headache. That's something you deal with in like a month or so, you get the payout and then it's fixed. However, in my situation, this has dragged on for almost 3 months. The body shop I was working with was unable to find an OEM part and refused to use an aftermarket part. Long story short, I was basically stuck in this nightmare trying to fix it, and I saw a way out. Thankfully, insurance paid me over $8,000 for that damage. And then, not even 2 days ago, I sold the car for $33,000. And I got to keep my track wheels and tires, which I paid over $4,000 for alone. But just to be real for a second, this wasn't a car I ever planned on flipping. This wasn't even a car I ever planned on selling. In fact, not 2 weeks ago, I was telling people I'm gonna keep this thing for a very long time. I've had other cars and Corvettes in the past, but this was my first real build. I put a lot of time into this car. It had tons and tons of mods done to it by previous owners and myself. You know, I had 550 wheel horsepower, big cam, so much fun. I put coilovers on it, I put a bucket seat in it, I changed out the radio, you know, head unit, Apple CarPlay, all that, plus the wheel and tire setup into that build. You know, I didn't just throw random power mods into it. I put a lot of real time and thought into this car. And after building it, I took it to the track, I took it to the mountains almost every single weekend. This was the car that made me realize what real driving actually feels like. I regret not filming this before I sold it, but life moves fast. The opportunity came before I was ready for it. I listed it and sold it in under 7 days. You know, sometimes the right move comes before you're emotionally prepared to make it. But thankfully, this isn't me walking away from cars. This is me taking what I learned and putting it into something else. Which brings me to what's coming next. I'm not just gonna sit here forever waiting for some magical deal to fall into my lap. I've already found the exact car I want to replace the C6. I'm waiting for an auction to go live, sitting with all my cash in hand for this car, a C7 Z06, which is actually what I bought my Forge Line wheels from in the first place. The C6 was sold a little unceremoniously, I know, but I had a ton of fun with it, took it to the track, I took it to the mountains, and I had a very fun last drive with it. I owned it for 6 months, it never gave me any issues. Honestly, that's a good life for a car. So yes, I'm not kidding when I say I'm getting a C7 Z06. So stay tuned because you could say I'm shifting gears a little bit. Alright, don't unsubscribe and don't block me, I'm just kidding. But for real though, guys, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to make this short and sweet. Yeah, it's unfortunate I had to get rid of the C6, but life happens. And I saw an opportunity, and I took it. And now I'm ready for an even crazier car. And I'm 100% getting a C7. I promised myself I would, and I already bought myself a ZR1 ZTK high wing. I've always wanted a high wing ever since I even had my C5 Z06, and I promised myself I'd do it with this one. It's on the way, it'll be here tomorrow, and I'm very excited to crack it open and take a look, and I'm gonna be installing it as soon as I take ownership of the car and change its fluids, do full service, whatnot. And I'm gonna be slapping on my Forge Line wheels and fresh-ish Toyo tires on it the moment I get it. So she's gonna be properly sorted. I'm so excited. And I'm also so excited to teach you guys how to win a car at auction. Hopefully this process goes smooth so I can show you guys how to do it. But yeah, guys, that's it. I know I promised I was gonna be doing other builds with the C6. It was fun while it lasted. But that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching.